Hello, everybody. My name's CalCaps. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about some fingertip grip mice that I've been using for the past few months. These are just the ones that I have personally been using. There are probably other ones out there and everything, but these are purely fingertip grip mice. And the four I have on my desk right now is the Zonconic MTK in glossy with grips. The Cyber 8K with grips. I don't think I did any weight reduction on it at all, if I can remember. The Zero Mouse V35 with the carbon scroll wheel. And the HSK Pro 4K. Now, these three mice, they have a very similar type of shape. I would say these three have more of a similar shape, and then the HSK just it's a little bit small. I personally I've tried it for a while, and I ended up almost basically breaking the thing. I didn't do the software update correctly, and then I came back to it probably about a month ago and fixed her up. And the new software updating software for HSK was very nice for G-Wolves. Mice, I should say. Apologies for that. But I can't really say anything about this mouse because one, I don't really grip this mouse very well. So when gripping the mouse, I have this space between them that just I have to clamp down on it. It's not as relaxed as my hand should be. So it ends up causing me a lot of just, I don't know, cramping or just overall fatigue in my hand when I'm gripping it. So like I can't say much positive things about this mouse. I will say the implementation of where the buttons are towards the back, I personally like that for a mouse this small. Other people may not like that. Like on the Zonconic, it is very. I mean, the glossy is good, but I put my thumb a little bit forward, so if you put it right up against the HSK Pro, the HSK is more towards the back of with the Zonconic as well. So I would want the buttons like right here if I had buttons here. But we all know Zonconic is made for very lightweight enjoyers like myself. And I did get a bungee yesterday, and I've been doing so much better on this mouse. I mean, it's great. The Cyber 8K. It is a nice, like, just to go over it right now and throw out the HSK for a minute. The Cyber 8K is a very nice shape for if you want basically a reverse of what the Zonconic is. Because if I were to turn this upside down, it's basically the same shape, almost exact replica. I mean, if you go and look at like ELO shapes and stuff like that, you can really see that they are basically the same shape. Now, that's not to say one's not better. You may not prefer more than another. Now, the Cyber 8K, I personally love this mouse. Okay, if you're looking for something that is basically a Zonconic, but you want it now, and you're willing to sacrifice quality over that, it's good. The problems I have with this mouse is good. Like overall, everything clicks. Okay, build quality and everything, or not. We'll get into big build quality later. The placement of everything and all that. I mean, as long as you put in every single screw in the bottom there, which is the two silver ones there and the two black ones down here, you're pretty much good. And then you put, I think eight. I can count 8 skates on the bottom. You should be pretty good. The few gripes I have about this is the tension could be a little bit higher on the clicks. If they brought back where they start separating it, maybe it could make the tension a little bit better. I'm not a genius in this. I will never claim to be a genius in this or know more than what I already do about it, because I probably will never get into it. But um, the way they print it is pretty nice. The grip, the overall regular grip, pretty nice on this mouse. I probably wouldn't, you know, dock any points for that or anything. And I probably wouldn't dock any of these mice points except for maybe the HSK for being just a bit too small. It is a bit on the heavier side too, at close to 30 grams, while the rest of these mice are around the 23 to 25 gram mark. The Zonconic being an exception, being at 22 grams. But the only major gripe I have about the Cyber 8K is that when I go to, let's say, go do a aggressive flick or something, I go and kind of put pressure on it. In the back here, you notice I got a little bit of flexing. That is my only gripe, is that the back area just, for me at least, flexes a little bit, and that changes the shape just enough to where I have a problem with it. It's not a major problem. I'll still use this mouse. Like, guarantee you, I will still pick it up probably when I don't want to use the Zonconic and use it. Now, the Zonconic I bought basically because to see if I want the M3K. I definitely want the M3K now, and I will keep my order up, and I will review that later. But going from the Cyber 8K, well, let's go into the Zero Mouse. Now, the Zero Mouse is not, you know, it's very, very niche stuff. I mean, it is a mod kit, and it's a one-piece mod kit, okay, from Optimum. I love the carbon scroll wheel. Very nice, adds a weight reduction, brings us down to, I think, 25 grams, if I had to remember, or 24 grams, 24. Definitely there. This one's about 25. I should say, the Cyber 8K is 25 grams. So if you want to put these in order from lightest to heaviest, going from right to left, I know that's very confusing, but this is the order. Okay, we have heaviest here going to lightest. And, you know, when I pick up the V35, it's natural. It's like an ergo mouse, and I absolutely that's the biggest portion of the V35 that I love, is that it feels like an ergo mouse. Okay, you take any other fingertip grip mouse, they are even on both sides. You take a Zero mouse, it has that depth to it. It has that slant to it, and the grooves are nice and everything. I mean, this thing is truly dialed in. Okay, as opposed to the, what is it, V34? So I would say yes, this is probably one of the more successful mod kits that I've seen in terms of innovation. Now, sensor position is great, battery placement is great, I love that. Okay, it really takes away the weight when you're flicking around and everything. Okay, and it's 8K Hertz wireless. We love wireless 8K Hertz. I mean, Zonconic, we love their mice. We love their mice a lot. But they are wired, and at the end of the day, people are going to prefer wireless over wired, unless you're somebody like me who's crazy enough to buy one of these silly little bungees that goes on the bottom of the monitor because you don't have enough space on your desk, as you can see here. But going over it, I mean, you can't death grip this thing. It's just inevitable. It will break. I mean, it uses a very obscure printing process. I mean, this is something you can't buy all the time, and that's why I like the PMM a lot better than Zero Mouse, because I don't know if Optimum will ever come out with consistent versions of these. If he does, and he ends up getting a custom PCB that gets it down really low weight, I will probably suggest it if it's a constant production. But I cannot say that this is going to be a, you know, vital thing to buy if you're looking for fingertip grip or anything like that. Now, it depends on how cheap it is when it actually comes out, because this could be an affordable option when he comes out with a full-on kit that he develops himself in his own, you know, factories and stuff. Who knows what happens there? Maybe not his own factories to start, but when he starts developing his own PCB and stuff, there could be, you know, some really nice things to take away from the Zero Mouse. And a lot of people may prefer the Zero Mouse. The biggest like worries for me, I guess, in terms of this mouse is one, it being one piece. Okay, getting the PCB in there, I did okay. I was very stressed that I was going to break it and stuff like that, but in the future, when he does his own pre-built models, that might change my opinion on this mouse a lot, particularly in the assembly process, because it is tedious and there is a lot of thin pieces. Speaking of thin pieces, that this sidewall in particular, I'm scared about. Okay, I know he wanted to reduce weight on this, but I feel like the rigidity and overall structural integrity of this mouse is a little bit too weak for my liking. I just feel like I'm going to break it. I feel like I'm going to break it almost constantly. That's why I cut the box out to put it in there. Also, my fault. I did the tape a little bit wrong. I didn't wrap it. I just kind of put it over the top, which was my fault. But I think it looks great otherwise. But yeah, the carbon scroll wheel is nice. It's nice and grippy. And it does make it so that way my finger has less distance to travel, as opposed to the last just normal scroll wheel. You had a little bit more distance to travel, which did bother me a lot. But I mean, the additive of the crossbar as well increases the rigidityness. It also adds a little spot for the battery, which I think is absolutely genius. So overall, this is a great pick. I hope that the next time they come out with them, they continue production. I hope that that can happen, and I hope his fun side project is great. Now, getting to the Zonconic M2K. This mouse I got secondhand, of course, because they don't sell glossy anymore, and also, how was I able to get an M2K? Like, let's be honest. Anyway, the M2K, nice cable. I mean, the cable, when I wasn't using the bungee, it still was very light, and I couldn't barely feel the cable. But with a bungee, it basically feels like a wireless mouse now, and I literally cannot tell. Okay, I got Tiger Esports, like these are pink version skates. I really like them. They do wear up fairly fast, so I'll probably try Obsidians on this, but we will see. The construction, overall construction, I mean, I can put my finger in here and stuff and flip it around and all that, but the overall construction is great. I mean, it's rigid. I mean, I love it for being so rigid. It's great. The PCB layout I love. It's very even, very straight, and overall well balanced. Okay, we all know these mice are going to be front heavy, but if I hold it here, it is a little bit more front heavy because of that scroll wheel being on there. Now, modability with this is a huge thing too. I mean, I can take out the PCB and stuff and put that in a whole different shell and make it weigh even less. Okay, I just emailed Zero Mouse support for a M2K copy to be able to put the M2K in here. Hopefully I can get that, and then I can start modding, using this one as a modding mouse, or maybe when I get the M3K, maybe I get a mod kit with it and do M3K mods rather than M2K mods. But we will see. But overall, I haven't had enough time on the M2K to really justify its use. But overall, I love this mouse. Constant 8K hertz pull rate with the wire. I don't have to worry about charging it, unlike these three competitions over here, which I think is probably the main downside of all wireless mice, is just having to, I guess, having to charge mice. I will say glass mousepad, great with these mice. I mean, I get absolute precision and everything. So overall, these mice are probably something that I'm going to keep on my desk for a while and use. I will still, for Valorant and CSGO, I will still go back to the Lamzu Payro for the most part, because I found it's a nice, evenness between the Thorn and lower profile ergos. But the Payro is going to be probably my go-to for most games, except for high tracking games that you need a lot of tracking for and stuff. That's where I'd use the fingertip grip, and that's what I am currently playing, is a lot of Overwatch, a lot of Apex. I mean, currently a lot of Overwatch, but gonna get into Apex sooner or later. But we will see. We'll see. I got a lot more mice. I just took these 4 out and was like, hey, I gotta talk about them. Okay, they're all good in their own way. I think the HSK, going back to that, I think the HSK is probably the best in terms of people with small hands. Like, this is going to be your best bet. You guys might be able to grip it a little bit better to be able to hit the buttons. I feel like maybe having a single button, I don't know if any companies have thought about this, but maybe just a single button might be good. Because for games like Valorant and stuff, if people use fingertip grip mice for Valorant, more power to you. But for me, it's not my thing. But I think a single button would work, because you have mostly the Reyna Dismiss and Jet Dash and Chamber TP that you would attach to that, and a lot of people would probably love just a singular button. And with PCBs like the Viper V2 Pro, you can just attach it to that singular thing. Now, it is programmed to do multiple buttons, so you would just have to like trick it. But I feel like it would be possible to add one side button to a mouse and it be somewhat viable for most games. But yeah. Anyway, the scroll wheels and all these are just kind of, they're scroll wheels. I will say with the Zunconic, it is like, it sounds hollow, but that's just because the whole mouse is basically hollow. So I'm not gonna like dock points for that, even though I'm a huge guy for sound. That's why I build keyboards and stuff. It's not a like deal breaker for me. The deal breaker would be the click feel, which Zunconic is probably the lightest. The Viper V2 Pro mods, the Zero Mouse is probably the next lightest. And then I kind of want to put the HSK closer. So this would be the lineup here, heaviest to lightest. I think, even though the Cyber 8K has the same PCB as the Zero Mouse, I mean the Zero Mouse just has the like some of the lightest clicks I felt, and the HSK just, I don't know, it might be a combination of the shape, the way I'm holding it, and all that, but this is my kind of rating for heaviest clicks to lightest clicks. Obviously, the Zunconic is going to have the lightest clicks. They have the best tolerances on their mice. I mean, the quality control of these are insane. I know my model has not been taken out of the shell, so we're good on that. But yeah, anyways, that's going to do it for me for this video. If you like more of this content, be sure to comment down below if you want more of this content, so that way you guys can decide what products you want to buy, because I know it is a hard decision. I mean, some people, they buy one mouse and that's the mouse they have forever. And if you want a mouse that's going to last forever, you got to go with something that you like, okay? And I will always say this for most of my videos, shape is king. If you think you're going to like fingertip grip mice, then buy a mouse that you can claw grip, but also fingertip grip. That's my recommendation for everyone else who has never tried fingertip grip. But for those who have tried fingertip grip, this is probably my lineup of top 4 best. And here they are in order from worst to best, in my opinion. I mean, honestly, I'd switch it around like this. Even though, like, yes, there are, better mice out there. This is for fingertip grip. HSK Pro, constantly in production. Same thing with the Cyber 8K, constantly in production so far. So these two are probably, winners in my book. But if you can get a hold of the Zero Mouse V35 or later, depending on how PCB production goes for him and everything, the V36 might even be better. And then the Zonconic is just like the king of fingertip grip mice. So if you can get a hold of one of these, I mean, it'll last basically forever because you can do maintenance on it. You can just contact support with and get extra parts. They're pretty lenient about getting you the stuff you need to be able to use your mouse. But anyways, that's going to do it for me for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what your opinions are in this. And, let's get some conversation going. We need a lot of that here. And be sure to check me out on my socials, link in the description. I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a good one. See ya.